Hello and good morning. All right, we're going to be talking about life drawing, drawathon, value, painting, coloring. Let's see, we probably, it's like from 9, I think. Good morning. Good morning. Just going to give a second, let people jump in. Oh, man. All right, good morning. Sunday seems to have some activity to it. Bright and early. Good morning, Brian. All right. Well, my name is Kurt Brugel. Welcome to my studio. I draw women, strong, smart, and sensual ones. For the next 20 minutes, I'm going to talk about yesterday's Delaware College of Art and Design's Drawathon. I do believe it's the 9th one. This is the 3rd one that I attended. By the way, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to jump in. So from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m., with, intervals of breaks, we drew and drew and drew. And it was awesome. Very much look forward to. We had here out on the East Coast a blizzard the Saturday weekend before, which was when the Drawathon was originally scheduled. So unfortunately it had gotten canceled and then pushed back. So we had to wait another week. At Delaware College of Art and Design on Tuesday nights, 3 times a year sessions, they do run an open studio figure drawing, life drawing class. And I attend. I attend with quite a lot of people, really great group of people. A majority of them were there. And so I have to talk about just that and the supportiveness and feeling and being a room full of, I'm going to guess, almost 100 people, probably maybe 75 to 100 people. 2 sessions were going. And it was just very, very nurturing, and the feeling that I was surrounded by people who were after the same thing, accomplishing obviously some drawings and being able to hone down their craft. But as artists, we spend a majority of our time alone in the studio with our own thoughts, and be able to get out and stretch your legs and start talking to other individuals. You start finding that everybody's having the same types of reactions to being an artist when it comes to the internet, what's popular in social medias, what sells, where's things selling, should you do figure, should you do fantasy? The conversations end up really becoming quick and easy and fast, and also just helpful and encouraging. So with that, this drawing you're seeing right here was my warm-up drawing. I recently, over the last about 6 months or so, have been focusing more and more on color pencils. The number one reason has been for the fact that I can translate my drawing skills quicker with the pencil, the color pencil medium, than with painting mediums, wet mediums like watercolors, gouache, acrylics, and so forth. So what had happened was I started thinking along. This is one of the models that was at the DCAD Drawathon. So what I was really interested in was using the entire day yesterday at the Drawathon to really understand value. and the understanding that with a white piece of paper, a pencil, an eraser, a lot of scribbling and smudges, you get a very good outline of what you see, think, and feel. The translation of the drawing then to a more resolved color medium, when I paint, and even when I was trained as a painter, of course you can just lather down, just throw paint down one on top of the other, but then you can start scraping away, and there ends up being what's referred to as a ghost image, an imprint from the initial mark making with the drawing, and then you can kind of sort of build from there. And that's a back and forth process. I just find that at the end of the painting's journey, I feel more like I'm drawing. So I usually bring in color pencils. So here it's a direct translation from the drawing and continuing the drawing process with color. But what I was finding was I was too out of balance in value. In other words, things were very stark, very light to dark. As a matter of fact, I have a couple of them from last year. These are some pieces I had done last year. Thank you for the heart. Yeah. If you like what you see, give a tap. Once again, another one from last year. And you can see how I'm basically just using the dark lines, the color of the grayness of the paper, and then just trying to figure things out without value. And so this was a very apparent, this one was a little more successful, not working with anything too dark. And then, of course, drawing, and this is just a drawing with gray pencils. So with that in mind, that being said, this was a very, very good representation of how it was getting value to work for me. Now the setup was on the second floor of the Delaware College of Art and Design, which is referred to in an acronym of DCAD. And the lighting was not as precise because we did have an exposure where the sun was pretty much directly moving along the day across the studio space. So the lighting changed drastically by every 45 minutes. And you were doing, I was in the section for 2-hour drawings, 2-hour sittings, and then you can make drawings from there. And there were 20-minute breaks for the models. With that, the lighting was changing very dark. In the morning, it was very, very soft. Of course, when the sun gets at the highest point in the afternoon, there's some shadows, but it's still pretty just bright. And then, of course, towards the end of the session, it got really high contrast. And you'll see that in these 3 drawings that I'm going to show. She's Hispanic, so Latin. The lighting situation really contributed to my goal for the day, which was value. So what I had to only do is just deal with very, very light colors. I was starting out with oranges, pinks, even like a lavender, light greens. But when my hand would get heavier and the marks were being made in areas like down in here in the arm and along the arm and where she's resting, it would get dark very quickly. So I would pull back, maybe even erase that out. Of course, it being dark, there was a nice ghost of color left there, and then work from there. So I felt that I was getting a lot accomplished with the lighting situation, and it was really supporting what it was that I wanted to do. I know a lot of other artists had issues and complaints for it. just because of very, very much wanting something specific over time. Now, this was only, I only started, there was two sections in the room. One was for 2-hour poses, and then there was another section in the back of the studio space, which had a 20-minute intervals. So that might not have had a lot of issue. Of course, working on shorter, quicker, you're getting into a drawing and getting out of the drawing pretty quickly. So I'm only speaking of my experience in the part of the Drawathon that I was participating in. So this is halfway through the day, which I have to say is the most successful out of the 4 drawings I did, because I have to really champion myself for getting the values down. I feel like definitely the way the red meets her flesh tones, and then down into the hand, how the oranges start becoming a little bit more, the minimalism that I kept just in the face in this area, and then being able to bring it down. It holds itself together very, very well with value. Drawing being primarily a line making thinking. Yes, this is a different model. She's French. And so it got less about making drawing in a line to line to line, although there's a lot of cross-hatching, which is the thing I absolutely love the most. And then the kind of patchy building of colors to be able to have them one next to the other in order to form the figure. So this was definitely one of my triumphs for the day. But that's the thing about the Drawathon. I was not going into the Drawathon to spend from 9 to 6, which is 9 hours straight of drawing, to potentially bring pretty pictures out of the situation to then be able to sell. I was very much using the Drawing-thon as a school. I was actually in breaks. This is a 2-hour drawing. The question is, how long did this one take? This is a 2-hour drawing. There was 20-minute sittings with the model, and she was taking 5 to 7-minute breaks. So I believe that's like 4 sittings. That was the really awesome thing, as I stated in the beginning about the Drawathon, was I would step back during the breaks because the model was taking a break. I'd gravitate towards some other artists, and yes, Drawathon was absolutely fun. I'm still buzzing. I'm going to be drawing all day today too. It's going to be quite a crash at the end of this weekend. So I would step back and talk to other artists, and there were a lot of people participating. I'm guesstimating at one point probably 100 people. We probably kept somewhere between 65 through the majority of the day, in and around there. It was kind of a soft start. It started at 9 o'clock, but got going at 10. Probably around 5 o'clock, there was about 35 of us, and I did stay all the way to the end and champion through. So yeah, it was just a great time of camaraderie. And other artists, as I said, during working of it, I would kind of point to my work or even point to their work and say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Oh, the lighting, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to go after values. Oh, yeah. Oh, do you think about, throwing more blues in there? Ooh, blues. I didn't really think about blues. I'm thinking about reds and greens and oranges and yellows right now. But thanks for that, and then the model would come back. And, you just jump right in, back into it and start throwing some blues in there and see if they work. So as I said, the lighting situation. Oh man, where are you at? There's no art school. So yeah, just another shout out to Delaware College of Art and Design. DCAD is the acronym. .edu. We're in Wilmington, Delaware, which is just south of Philadelphia on the East Coast. The DCAD has been around since '98, I believe, and absolutely a wonderful facility for facilitating creativity. A lot of youth programs, as well as it being a young people's getting out of high school, going into trade art school, and then the continuing education program that is just absolutely amazing. So as the lighting situation kept moving on, as I said earlier, this you can actually see becomes very stark. Things are starting to get a little bit. I had just the right light and energy and time and so on and so forth. So this is the last one for the day, which I think really speaks for, once again, dealing with value and how value works. And the way value works is light, which is what I ended up learning at the end of all of this journey. Thank you. So yeah, I wish I had a photograph to show, because this was over the last sitting was for 3 hours, so this was actually over 3 hours. But I do have to say I probably stepped away for 1 20-minute to get a little bit of break, to kind of reboot and dig down deep to get in. So the lighting was going from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, which I believe sunsets around 7 o'clock. So you can now imagine that it's getting very, very, very stark. So look at the face itself. It's very similar to, keeping with this face, which was the drawing I did before, but it even gets even more muted. But I really have 5 or 6 colors in here. There's orange, there's green, there's purple, there's 2 browns. I just really just kept just in value. This is a black cherry color pencil. I didn't even get any blacks in there. A little bit of indigo, just to kind of say that her hair was being, thank you very much. Her hair was being pinched in the back, being clamped. Moving down, the light was really just moving very, very strong right through the midsection of her body. So this area really, really started shifting, as she would be in each sitting, kind of coming back and shifting her torso to her hips. But then as it got down to, which was the representation that I led down in here, it really, really, really goes away. So as I was working from basically here in the starkness down in here, I could only give the same as I was at the top. There's the same kind of colors, the pinks, the oranges, the Naples yellow, light brown, little bit of dark green, but that was it. Like that's all I could see for the most part. So this, I feel, is a great success. It probably doesn't hold together compositionally. I did get a comment that the head looks a little small. I agree completely. So yes, there, as an anatomical structure, there's probably some strangeness that needs to get hammered out. But my goal was to just gain some access and understanding to value with the color pencils and drawing. And as I said, the epiphany at the end of the night, probably around 5 o'clock, was wow, values very, very, very much determined on light. So you think as you keep doing things, you've mastered certain things. But the truth is, there's an old adage, I think that goes along the fact that somebody else says, I have 10 years of mastering this skill. But really all they did was learn something in 1 year and repeat it for 10 years. The true master is every year you're learning something. So it's just one of those things as a challenge. I believe people, as artists and not artists, underestimate as being an artist or pursuing the arts, let me just say, not being an artist, is you're constantly learning. You're keeping yourself open to what it's all about and critically looking at yourself and saying, wow, you know, I got to really work on my anatomy. I have to work on my understanding for color, my understanding for line. And as my day yesterday was all about my understanding of value. So as I said, it was for 20 minutes. I would chat and talk about how wonderful the Delaware College of Art and Design, DCAD.edu, Drawathon, 9th annual yesterday was. If you have some questions or comments you'd like to make here at the end, please feel free. In my profile, I have a link to my website. It's kurtbrugel.com. As a matter of fact, later today, after I draw for the rest of the day, I'm going to do some updating of my drawings of women, strong, smart, sensual women. And some other information. There's a newsletter there and such. But I really thank you for joining me on this Sunday. Good question. That's a really good question and a really good thought of a drawathon online. I don't know, maybe we could do that on Periscope. So yeah, the thing is about it. Hey Chris, how you doing? So yeah, something to keep people sort of all together and everything. I have been interested in getting in the Google Hangout thing. So maybe technically I'm just going to have to, really get down in it. But yeah, so I do this every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So yesterday I was at Drawathon at 9 a.m. So that would be the thing. Or online drawing board. Is that a website, online drawing board? Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 9 a.m. drawing. But I wouldn't be surprised at all. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. I'll check that out. Definitely. Thank you. I would assume that there's a lot of stuff going on out there. And somebody has put something together. I know there's, I believe it's James George has a Periscope and a PeriscopeArtChallenge.com community I had just come across. I think it was like Friday night. So I'm going to give that a check and everything. But once again, thank you so much for joining me today. Please feel free to follow me and check in with me from time to time. And as always, I'm sincerely grateful for your attendance. And have a great day.